need to eat it.
We need to eat it. All right, take a bite. See how it tastes. So we just filmed an intro to today's vlog, and I realized Quinny doesn't have a shirt on, so we're gonna make her put a shirt on before we continue. But I've decided, hey, I have no idea what I'm gonna do today as part of our vlog, so we're gonna show you how to make stir fry Christensen family style. We're gonna have lots of time lapses because no one wants to watch me chop up vegetables and chicken forever. So we'll go ahead and get that started and give you our own little ingredients, and maybe you'll like it too. We're gonna try this again. How's everyone doing? Hi, Mom. Mom's good. How's Audrey doing?
Goodies.
Playing a game?
Yeah.
Is Quinn playing too?
I'm working.
You doing good, Quinn?
Quinny's
You doing well?
Late.
She doesn't want to respond to me. It's life as a toddler or a 4-year-old. 5-year-old tomorrow. Quinny, what's tomorrow?
My birthday.
Your birthday, how old are you going to be? Show the camera. 5 years old? Holy cow.
Guys, look.
Kaylee, how you doing?
I big me.
You're playing with candy? So I just started filming and I noticed something really sad. Look at my tripod. It's not a tripod anymore. That's a, what would we call that? A biped?
Quinny, come outside and see.
So I'm gonna try and while I'm filming this, see if I can't get it to kind of balance on the edge of a cup like this. Might have to put the legs in a little bit. It's sad. It's been with me a long time. We'll give it a try. Alright, step one, we're gonna take a bell pepper. Doesn't matter what kind of bell pepper, whatever color you have. We have red because they're cheap. And we want to chop them up into thin strips, just like this. That smells good. Alright, the next thing that we add to our stir fry is carrots. Now I've got some whole carrots, so I'm gonna go ahead and peel those first. We eat them a little bit different every time we make this, so I'm actually gonna kind of slice them into rounds. We use baby carrots a lot as well, so if we use baby carrots, we'll usually just half them or sometimes even quarter them. Depends on how you like your carrots. I like mine nice and cooked, not without much crunch to it, but if you like the crunch, then that's fine too. So we're gonna go ahead and get these peeled and then we're gonna slice them up. Alright, the next step for us is broccoli. Now, we have a family of 5, 2 adults, 3 kids. So, how much we use, it's really dependent on how many people are eating. For us, usually we use 1 full bell pepper of any color. If we're doing whole carrots, 2 large whole carrots probably enough, or a handful of baby carrots. And usually a crown of broccoli. This one's a little bit small. We're gonna go ahead and use it anyway. Now, one thing I've noticed about cooking the broccoli, especially for stir fry, if we leave, for lack of better words, the trunk, I don't know if there's a proper term for it, too long like this, then we don't get an even cook on the top and on the bottom. So what I usually like to do is I'll cut off the trunk or the stem and cut it real close like this, and then I'll just cook both, and that way they both get an even cook. Alright, so the last large ingredient besides seasonings and sauces that we have to add is we do chicken. Now you can do beef. We've done beef before, haven't we? Sometimes we even mixed them up. They're so good. Now this is a little bit tricky to get right as far as how much chicken to use. For a family of 5, I would say if you get a large chicken breast, maybe a little less than 2 large chicken breasts, 1 and maybe 3/4-ish. So I mean, you could do 2 and you have leftovers. These chicken breasts are tiny and they're thin, which I actually like. It means we can control our portions a lot more. So I actually have 5 of these teeny tiny, probably 3-4 ounce chicken breasts. So ultimately what I like doing with this to make it taste really good, so I slice it maybe a 1/2 inch. Sometimes it's still partially frozen, but since they're so thin, we just throw them in the defroster or microwave for a couple minutes and get them cuttable. And then essentially into cubes. So as square as we can get it and as even as we can get it, so our chicken is cooking evenly. Now, we don't always do this, but what I'm doing today, we always let our broccoli go in first, because I like it being a little bit, I don't like crunchy broccoli, I like it cooked down a little bit more, same with my carrots, so they're gonna go in right after. So I'll actually take my chicken, since it is so small, I mean, you can see in relation to my fingers just how small this little cube is. I like to put it in a Ziploc bag or other off-brand and marinate it while the rest is cooking. We're gonna have some rice going at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting that in a bag and we'll get this moving. Alright, so what we've got going on now, family of 5, we like rice here, so we actually use a cup of rice for our family, which means 2 cups of water. Sometimes if I'm feeling lazy, since our cabinet that has our measuring cups is a little bit high, I'll just grab the first one I can. If you can do some simple math, you can figure it out. So I actually used a 3rd cup, filled it up 3 times with rice and then 6 times with water. So I'm going to put that on the stove. I'm going to let it reach a boil. Once it reaches a boil, I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to turn it to low, set the timer for 15 minutes, and that should be just perfect. So as far as the rest of the stuff is concerned, this is kind of to taste. So we've got a collection of different things here. First thing I'm going to do is take my chicken. We're going to add some olive oil. I like olive oil because it's not as fatty, so it doesn't make you feel as heavy when you're done. Give it a good sprinkling there. If you do marinate the chicken first, you want to be a little bit light on these ingredients. Next thing is either lemon or lime juice. We've got lemon this time. For me, it doesn't make a difference. A few squirts of that as well. And of course, wouldn't be stir fry without soy sauce. So I'm just going to empty the rest of this bottle since it's almost gone anyway. Empty that in there and we'll open up the next one, add just a little bit more. And then we'll go ahead and add our drier ingredients in here. Give it a good shake after we seal it. And let that marinate until it's ready to go in. So the next thing I like to do, and I do go fairly heavy-handed on this, is the sesame seeds. Add a good sprinkling of sesame seeds in there. And then every once in a while I'll add just a little bit of crushed dried minced onions. And get a little bag open. Just give it a little kick of the onion flavor. Got that open. Give it a pinch or 2. And then last of all, this depends on your tolerance for spices, but I go ahead and put just a little pinch or 2 of the crushed red pepper. And I like to put it in with the chicken. So if I put it in with the wok here that I have on my left first, it'll get caught in the broccoli and then you get a mouthful of really hot broccoli. Let's give it a good shake around here. And then I usually like to make sure I get as much of the air out as possible. That way more of the liquid is touching the chicken. So I'm going to set that aside. Get the wok ready for the broccoli. Give a generous sprinkle of the olive oil so it's nice and slick on the bottom. And then we're essentially adding the same ingredients, except we're not adding the dry ingredients. And the great thing about this, and this is one of Megan's favorite parts, this creates a nice sauce, especially once it cooks down, that we like to sprinkle on top afterwards. So we will add in our soy sauce.
Mommy, look.
And then I have put all of my vegetables all in one bowl, but I'm going to add them in at different times. We're going to get the broccoli in here first. Let that cook down. And I will start the heat on the wok as soon as the timer is on for the rice. So we'll wait to that point and then we'll go over when we add the rest of the ingredients. Alright, so as you can see, we have got our rice boiling. I like to lift the lid up every once in a while and blow on it, just so it doesn't boil over and make my stove a mess. Got the timer set for 15 minutes. Usually when I first start the wok with the broccoli in there, I have it on high, as you can see, And I'll wait until that kind of starts bubbling up a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and turn it down, probably somewhere about right here on the medium scale. And usually after about a minute or two, I'll add in my carrots. It really depends on how crunchy you like your vegetables. I like them cooked all the way down, so they're nice and soft. So I get them added in pretty quick after the broccoli. All right, so you can see we have about 13 minutes left. We've got that on a nice simmer. So I usually like to use either a clawed or a slotted spoon, so it's easier to get our food out later. When I'm mixing this up, let's add some time to get a little bit warm. Let's release those bubbles. And we are going to get our carrots added in next. So I'm going to be very careful not to add in my peppers too soon. That one's a little bit trickier because I want them to be soft but not slimy. But I want them to be beyond crunchy. That is just my preference. That's really depending on how you want it. I'm gonna get those added in there, and then probably when that reads about 8 minutes or so, we'll get the chicken added. If we add it too soon, it's gonna overcook and dry out. If we add it too late, it's gonna be undercooked and we're all gonna get sick. Cooking dinner for my family, mixing up the stir fry, getting dinner ready, turning up the heat just a little bit, mixing how we can. Alright, it's been, well, I guess I should say, we've got 8 minutes left, so we're going to give this a little stir. I'm going to go back to our chicken. Open that up, which is easier said than done when you're holding the camera in one hand. And we are just going to dump it right in there. Be careful not to get chicken juice outside of the pan. What I usually like to do is give this a nice little stir to get it mixed in. And then it's usually about, sometimes this will cool off all the liquid in there that you have to turn it up for a little bit, for a few seconds. So we're going to go ahead and turn it up just a little bit. And since there's 7 minutes left now, I'm going to go ahead and add in the peppers. I usually like to keep them up top and kind of let them steam for a while. And we'll give it a couple minutes and we'll give it another mix. And then we'll just let it cook down and it should be done soon. Just keep a close eye on that chicken, make sure it cooks all the way through. All right, so the timer just went off. We're ready to eat. While I was waiting for it to finish, I made this vibrantly green punch, which will be delicious. So here's how I usually like to dish it up. Get that off the rice. And then what I need to do is find some plates. I'm gonna grab one just to start with. This is kind of how we do things see-around style. I'm going to take the rice, set it aside. Usually for the girls, I obviously don't give as much of a helping as I do for us. Take a few scoops of rice out here. I'm not even showing it, I'm looking at our utensil holder. Alright, move it back over to the stir fry. Make sure that they get a little bit of vegetables and chicken. Didn't get any peppers. So there you have it. Dish it up as needed for depending on wow. That's some sort of weird word. Dish it up as needed depending on who's eating and then enjoy. So I hope this was semi-useful. Maybe you'll enjoy the same kind of meal that we enjoy, probably at least almost once a week. All right, so there's one last thing that we need to do for this dinner. What is that, Megan?
We need to eat it.
We need to eat it? All right, take a bite. See how it tastes.
Excuse me.
Is it delicious?
Oh,
All right. Well, that's it for today's vlog. So if you give this a try, hopefully you like it. That's one of the things that we like. So with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. Please share our channel. We're trying to get it growing right now, and we'd really appreciate it the more people we can get on. Once again, make sure you tell the ones that you love them, and we will see you around.
bye-bye. See you around. See you around on the next video tomorrow on my birthday.
On your birthday tomorrow! Yay! Bye! Depending on who it, or depending on who it, or depending on who it, or depending on.